Welcome to Ronda, Spain, a 2,000-year-old town up in the mountains high above the Costa del Sol in the south of Spain. Madonna has come here,
That's
as
me.
you can see, to make a video for Take a Bow, the second single off her Bedtime Stories album. We've been watching her, we've been following her around, making her life miserable.
Butting into my life
It's just
extensively.
been really great. There's a lot of psychodrama going on. You're going to see all of that, but first, let's see the video itself.
No, first I want to make a wish.
Okay, well, go ahead and make a wish.
Okay.
This didn't involve the length of my life or anything, did it?
No, had nothing to do with you.
Damn. All right.
I'm sorry, Kurt.
There you have it, Take a Bow, the video for the second single from Madonna's album Bedtime Stories, filmed here in the ancient town of Ronda. As always with Madonna Productions, this was a big one. She was about the biggest thing to happen to the city since bandits ruled the place about 1,000 years ago. She came here at an unusual time, early November. It was kind of cold, and of course there were linguistic complexities with the Spanish, American, English crew. But Madonna triumphed over it all, as always, and we followed her around every step of the way. So have you ever been to Spain before?
Yeah, many times to Madrid and Barcelona, but I've never been to the south, which is, I think, more beautiful. It was a little bit of a surprise because I thought we were going to arrive in a sleepy little village, and actually there were people. we had to move hotels because we were in this really quaint, charming 3-story hotel, but when we realized that we were surrounded and that people could actually climb up the front of the building and get in my bedroom window, we had to move. So,
well, not necessarily a drawback.
Roll camera y acción.
When you were writing the song Take a Bow, was there any conception of like Spain or Matador at the time that comes entirely later?
No, I was actually thinking of a movie star when I was writing it. And, but I thought, when I tell the story of this visually, I wanted it to be about a sort of an obsessive love story, a tragic love story that doesn't work out in the end. And if this character, this person that the object of my desire is an actor, how do I show what he does that's going to read to people?
We started talking about bullfighting. She said, I've been thinking about this. I said, really, because it's something I'm interested in. I've been filming some corridas. And I don't know enough about it, but it's a fascinating subject. And pretty soon we started saying, well, what if it was a matador? Is at the edge? Is there a mystery to this person, this public figure, that no one else knows about?
To portray the Matador in Take a Bow, director Houseman, an aficionado, chose Emilio Munoz, a bullfighting star revered for his dedication to the sport's classic style. Is this your first video? Is this the first one you've done?
Este es tu primer video.
Sí. How is it so far? Are you enjoying it?
¿Te está gustando hasta ahora?
It's a new experience. Yes, I'm enjoying it. It's very different than what I'm used to doing normally.
It's not a video about bullfights. It's about falling in love with the matador. And the actual bullfight isn't what it's all about, but you have to see what the guy does. And we're trying to turn it more into beauty of passing and everything like that.
There's a tragic brutality and beauty to it, but there's always a sad ending at the end of a bullfight.
After Madonna scrubs up a bit, we
I
want
have
to
to
see
get this fly paper off my face.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
We're going to venture into her dressing room, so don't go away. You're obviously involved very closely with the cult of personality. I mean, do you ever wish you could escape from it and just be able to go for a walk or something?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, what do you do? Are there disguises? Are there funny hats?
Oh, no, because funny hats attract attention, too. I mean, the problem is for me to get into an elaborate disguise, I'll come out of my hotel looking like a drag queen or a bag lady. You know what I mean?
The rigors of fame and long hours of shooting kept Madonna indoors most of the time in Ronda. At one point, perhaps desperate for simple human contact, she invited us to her dressing room to observe the art of inserting her into one of her costumes. So this is how it's done. You can see they push them up.
Yes.
Before there was the Wonder Bra, there was this.
I don't need the support, by the way.
No, not at all.
They're naturally this high.
So is this a period costume of some sort? Is it old?
Well, it's
amazing.
Weeks old. It was was worn in John Galliano's last fashion show.
And you fit yourself into it beautifully.
Yes, in spite of the fact that it was made for someone else. It does fit me very well.
And who are all these folks here?
This is Orlando, and I did his hair.
Nice.
But he does my hair usually. And this is Laura. She does my makeup. This is Lori. She's in charge of my clothes. We had talked a little bit about the look that we were coming to Spain, and about the bullfight, and that she, you know, it's this 40s kind of feeling, very kind of restricted and sexy, of course, and glamorous.
You're in charge of cramming her bosom into these clothes. And
I am in charge of cramming her bosom into these clothes, yes.
you've done a good job.
Well, good things to work with, yes.
So the scenario here is the bullfighter's coming in the house. It's like a stalking thing, or?
No, actually, the room upstairs is supposed to be my hotel room. So he's coming to my hotel room to seduce me. If you can imagine.
Are there gonna be like hot scenes in this?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's hot.
And well, we know, but
I don't want to be immodest. But
there's sort of a Spanish motif running through a lot of your stuff. Are you attracted?
I was Spanish in another life. I am Cuban Spanish.
Cuban?
I love Cuba.
Cuban men, is there an attraction there?
Oh, don't go there.
No? All right. Should we take a look around this place? Should we,
Go on a tour?
Yeah. Now, do you have stuff like this in your place in Los Angeles? Kind of romantic old beds?
Sort of. I mean, I have like drapery around all my beds, so you can shut the whole world out.
Oh.
Very private. For those times when you need extra privacy.
Yeah, I know those times.
You do not.
Well, yeah, you'd be surprised.
This is the outhouse up here.
Now. Gorgeous view out here. Excuse me.
Look at this. Now this.
Yeah. Pretty pretty.
I could live here.
Of course, it rains every 5 seconds, but apart
Yeah,
from
but
that.
it's gorgeous. Look at the village. You've got everything. Beautiful architecture, mountains, clean air,
Spanish men.
gorgeous men and women and children.
Yeah. Everybody looks pretty good here.
Even the dogs are cute. What? Oh, let's go over here. Come over here.
The view of the.
Drop.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that gorgeous? And
Really
there's
is
a river
pretty.
down there. It's the most beautiful place, really.
Now, somebody was just telling us that people come here to commit suicide.
They do?
Yeah.
Well, that's not why I'm here.
Well, I hope not. No. This is not the place to end your career.
I love life.
Are you looking very sort of healthy and up of you? Kind of a
I'm
health
feeling healthy enough. I'm only smoking cigarettes because
effect.
my clothes are so tight that I can't eat. It's true. It's an appetite suppressant. It's supermodel diet.
What do you do in the downtime? I mean, videos and films are just mainly about downtime, sitting around waiting. Do you have like a regimen of things you do? You work out, you dance, you sing?
Well, I can't work out. I got makeup and hair
That's true.
and can't kind of really do anything. Well, I usually have fun people that I work with, you know, hair, makeup, wardrobes. We all sit around and gossip or eat or turn music on and dance.
Get my ass.
I love it.
All right, we're gonna go together.
This is the gown that my lover,
Rips off you?
well, kind of. I mean, it is a video, so. Isn't it beautiful? John Galliano, thank you very much. This is Versace, this is Prada. All the lingerie is Sevilla. All the slips and the bras, which you can't see.
Is it hard to be like dressed up in this stuff all the time? I mean, it looks
As long as you don't eat.
constraining.
It is constraining. That's kind of like one of the themes of the video.
Constraint? And these would be your knickknacks?
These are knickknacks, yes. Actually, none of these are gonna probably make it into the, oh no, this necklace I'm gonna wear.
Very pretty.
It's a lovely necklace. Here, I'll model it for you. Get a nice cleavage shot too while you're at it.
All right. Do these
Okay.
have names or? That's just a joke.
My breasts? Sure, don't go there either.
I'm sorry. Just
This is a nice shoe. which I don't know how you say this guy's name.
Christian Louboutin.
Christian Louboutin. He's a new shoe designer. Isn't it lovely? Doubles as a weapon.
That's some heel, yeah.
Someone
Some
pisses you
toe.
off, you know what I'm saying?
They look really comfy, too.
They are. Actually, they are very comfortable.
And these were, oh, I thought it was a handbag.
Would you like to try this on?
No, not right now.
Let's see. Come on, Kurt.
And look, here's your chewing gum.
Kurt in a bra. I can
not-
see it
it's
now.
not me.
It's your color, though. You look good in red.
Think so? Oh, thanks. I'll keep that in mind for later. So this is all your stuff. Now, what's...
Oh, here's a great shoe, too. Got it, too. This is a great shoe. Manolo. Minus the Dr. Scholl foot pad. Thank you very much. Lovely shoe. Okay.
Now, what is this?
Wait a minute. Are we doing House of Style all of a sudden?
This is
I'm
double
feeling very Cindy Crawford right now.
This is, you know...
I'm feeling very Cindy.
I think there was this perception that, you know, Madonna, bitch on wheels, and now they say, what's the new Madonna? She's really sweet. She's user-friendly.
Hey,
Somewhere
I'm
in
sweet
between.
and I'm a bitch. You know what I mean? And that's always been the way it is. I'm a human being.
Yeah.
You know, when you want something done right, and you care about something, it's so often you're perceived as being a bitch. But in the end, it's your ass on the line. You're being judged for it, so you've got to make it the best it can be.
15 minutes upstairs and then back down for 15.
What the hell does that mean? That no shot takes 15 minutes. Not with this crew.
Madonna's battle against time and critical trauma continues when we return.
What's taking so long?
My baby's got a secret.
Okay, here we go. Forward in, playback.
Say your lines, but do you feel them? Do you mean what you say when there's no one around? Watching you, watching me.
One lonely star.
One lonely star.
Open your eyes, please. Okay.
Is that how you want me to keep them?
No, I just wanted to see.
Okay.
I think your eyes should move from looking down at your lapel and up, so we know where the action comes from.
Good. Oh, okay.
All of this video labor, of course, was in the service of Madonna's 7th studio album, an unusually subtle piece of work called Bedtime Stories, which made its debut on the Billboard chart in October at number 3. The critics seem to have backed off on this record. Is that a good sign? I mean, they seem to like it.
I mean, I'm not getting publicly flogged.
Yeah. Isn't that sweet?
Yes, well, I guess it's because I'm not being a bad girl right now. Well, I think people are really, maybe for the first time in a long time, really just concentrating on the music.
Yeah.
And maybe if they were able to concentrate on the music of my last album, they would have enjoyed it more.
Do you think Erotica got the hearing it deserved?
Absolutely not. Are you kidding me?
Because I think in retrospect, a lot of people look back and say, yeah, it's a really good record.
Yeah, I know, I've heard that. Thanks. Why didn't you say that 2 years ago?
Did I say something wrong? Oops, I didn't know we could talk about sex.
Erotica, Madonna's dark and sex-drenched 1992 album, was all but drowned out by the critical uproar over its accompanying photo book, The Notorious Sex. I think people were saying, you know, the obvious mainstream press thing is going to be, well, this new record is obviously a step back. She knows she went too far, and now she's trying to kind of be nice and do it.
Yes, well, that is the mainstream, not thought out point of view. But I mean, there was no calculation, there was no, I didn't give myself a set of rules when I went in the studio and said, okay, now I have to write this kind of music, I can't offend anyone. It's just really, I think you can't write songs unless you're being honest. I don't think you can put yourself in that kind of a straitjacket creatively.
This album is a very subtle record, and it's the interweaving of voices. It's almost pointillistic, and I think people wonder sometimes, because you collaborate with people, what exactly is your input into all this? Do you show up with melodies, with lyrics?
It's different every time. I have, I keep a journal and I write in it constantly anyways, or if I'm reading something and I feel inspired, I'll jot down something, or a phrase comes to my mind and I write it down, and then I'll go in and I'll hear music and I'll elaborate on what I've written, or I'll take a poem I've written and kind of change the meter of it to fit the music. Or sometimes the music I'll have nothing in my head, and I'll go in and I'll hear music, and then it'll just come to me. Music.
Did you sit around and doodle on instruments or tape things?
No, I don't play any instruments. I always work with producers that can play instruments, and
I thought you played piano or something a little bit.
very primitively.
Yeah.
I mean, I can, basic chord progressions, but I hear melodies in my head, so I usually rely on them to pound it out on the keyboard. That's how I work with Babyface anyways.
Yeah. How did you come to be involved with Babyface in Dallas and all these people? Did you have them in mind from the beginning, or were you going around trying people out?
I pretty much had a wish list of people that I really admired or had, sort of had my eye on working with for some time. And Babyface and Dallas, Austin, and Nellie Hooper were at the top of that list. And then I ended up working with Dave Hall because he was a friend of a friend, and they kept saying, you've got to work with this guy. I didn't really know him at all, and there were a few other people that were recommended, but songwriting is like, collaborating with anybody, it's very intimate, and it's hard. Sometimes it doesn't work with people, and you get in a room and you don't feel comfortable, or so I went through a few of those, and
discarded a few people.
Yeah, kicked him right out.
How did your connection with Björk come up? Where did this song come from?
That came from working with Nellie. Nellie did her album, and actually one of the reasons I was dying to work with Nellie Hooper was because of Björk's album. I thought it was amazing.
Let's get unconscious, honey. Let's get unconscious.
It seems to be a different you in a way. I mean, have you just romance?
Well, every year it's a different me.
But has romance come into your life? I think we were reading something about.
Well, romance has always been in my life. Well, that sounds really immodest, doesn't it?
Fortunate. Sounds
no,
fortunate.
but it's not like I just discovered romance. I've been writing. When you listen to, there's romantic songs on all of my records. Rain is a romantic song. Live to Tell is a romantic song. I've always written romantic songs. People got so caught up in the eroticism aspect of what I was exploring and getting into and writing about that I think now that I've come up with this record, and all of a sudden everyone's saying, "Oh, she's changed so much. She's a different person," and I'm more experienced. I'm older and wiser. But I think romances have been a big part of everything that I've written.
There's kind of a sweetness to some of the songs on the record too.
Or bittersweetness.
I meant to say a bittersweetness.
Yeah.
But is there a guy in your life who's changed things?
Getting to the really important question.
This is the important thing.
Actually, the songs are about a lot of different
guys.
Well, not just men. Inside of Me sounds like it's a love song, but it's actually about my mother.
I'll always have you inside of me.
I tend to collect thoughts and as I go through life, and a lot of times it takes me a long time before I can come to terms with maybe a relationship I had years ago. You know what I mean? And I finally found a way to talk about it or write about it. So it's not even necessarily something that was happening to me currently, but my reflection on something that happened.
Inside of Me being about your mother, it's interesting. Being from a family that has breast cancer in it must be a haunting thing, I would imagine.
Absolutely. My mother died when she was very young, and when I got to be, she was 31 years old, and when I got to be, my whole life was about 31. When I get to be that age, is that going to be my death sentence? Is that what's going to happen to me? And when I finally passed that age and I was still alive, I can sort of breathe again.
Is that a typical night out for you? Do you go to clubs in Harlem or?
I do actually, but one of the reasons I shot it in Harlem is because I thought that. I think people traditionally think of Harlem as being this ghetto where everybody's sad and people are full of despair and there's no hope. And I walk down the streets, 125th Street in Lenox, and I see beautiful, beautiful people and beautiful children playing on the streets, and I see incredible, beautiful brownstones. I mean, that is a beautiful part of Manhattan, and I discovered a lot of beauty there, and I thought, since the song is about discovering a secret, that I liked.
Before starting work on Bedtime Stories, with much public consternation still lingering from her sex book escapade, Madonna made a raucous appearance on The David Letterman Show. You were on his show saying all these
Bad words?
bad words.
Yes, I know, but it was a performance.
Incidentally, you are a sick. I don't know why I get so much.
You realize this is being broadcast, don't you?
Yeah.
So it wasn't a real argument between us, and
Was Dave aware of this?
he knew the gist of what was going to happen.
Is that a rug?
You're talking about my hair. Right, well, all right, what is that, a swim cap? What are you wearing? Come on, let's go. Here we go.
It was like a snowball, you know? I mean, it was like everybody freaked out about it, and then I think Dave freaked out about it a little bit. But you know what? Dave was never, you know, I called him up to, when they asked me to do the MTV Awards, I said, well, you know, who do you want to do it with? And I couldn't think of anybody. It's like, I thought, if I come out with anyone, there's got to be some kind of symbolism. It's got, like, who do I want to join forces with? Who do I want to, you know, represent myself with? And I thought, wouldn't it be great to come out with David Letterman? Because everyone thinks we're in this, like, huge world war. And so I called him up and asked him. And I said, Dave, are you ready to bury the hatchet? He goes, there is no hatchet.
I'll be in the car. Just watch your language.
He was very agreeable and actually so nervous. It was really touching.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he was green. And he was so sweet, the way he was gripping my arm as we walked out on the stage. But, you know, I have to say I adore him. I know that sounds completely perverse, but I do.
I'll never explain again my sexuality.
What have you made of Rhonda since you've been here? This is a deeply Catholic region of the
This is
country.
a deeply beautiful, beautiful, beautiful city. But it's one of the oldest cities in the world. And there's no McDonald's, there's no 7-Eleven. And I'm just enjoying that. It's just, we were in a house yesterday, it's 500 years old. And it's so beautiful. So I love it here.
Okay, here we go. Action. Go, car, go, go.
Is this a typical Madonna video? I mean, this is a really big production.
Well, yeah, it's expensive and...
Not your money, though.
Well, it kind of is my money.
Yeah.
If you know how videos work, I mean, you know, you get in advance and then start making money on your records, and then that record company just sucks it back out of you. So.
But I mean, are they always this complicated logistically?
Well, this is hard just because we're shooting it in a foreign country, and we're using a lot of foreign crews, and I mean, it's mostly an English crew, but then for the extras we have to have Spanish crew people to translate, and it's kind of complicated.
I'll just give you a cue. Everyone's quiet, and then when I cue you, you just say he's been hit.
I'll have a kid fall.
Okay.
Jerónimo, te toca. So when you say now, he's gonna fall. Cuando él te hace el gesto, te vas a caer aquí, ¿vale?
Silencio, por favor. Roll camera. Y acción. Y ahora.
The easiest way to do a video, of course, is just tuck into a studio for a couple of days and knock the thing out under controlled conditions. The advantage of coming out on location is natural beauty and exotic appeal, but it does have its drawbacks.
is a complete different strategy in lighting and in looking at anything, because what you do is that instead of going in there and trying to overpower what you have, you really use the sets you have. And you walk in a room and you look around and you say, the light is right here. Yeah. It's really nice. And you don't have the room to put big lights out and do things.
Is this like one of the more difficult shoots you've done as a location thing? It's cold, it's far away.
It's cold, it's far away, but actually it's not. It's gone surprisingly well. I mean, the running through the streets yesterday was a little bit difficult with crowds, but and heels, exactly. But it's gone pretty smoothly. I don't know why. I've had much tougher shoots.
Such as what?
Well, first of all, in rain, I had to get water dumped on me for 5 days. I mean, I'm not into being cold. That's my thing, you know. It's cold right now, yes, as you can see. I have my
fake fur on.
Yes, my fake fur.
Instead of spring, it's always winter.
In addition to the chilly weather, Madonna had to contend with a publicity onslaught by a celebrity-oriented animal rights group.
Well, I've already gotten flack from animal rights people because everyone said, "Oh, you're glorifying bullfighting. You're going to be hurting the bull." And rumors started, and suddenly I was, lining up bulls and shooting them with rifles. Well, you know what? Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Yes.
I don't believe that any organization should dictate to me what I can and can't do artistically. And the fact of the matter is, we didn't harm any bulls while we were shooting, and we went out of our way to make sure that that wouldn't happen.
But somebody told me you actually bought them and they're going to retire to a farm somewhere.
Yeah, because they're bred and raised to be fought, and once we use them in the shoot, they're no good to the bullfighter anymore. So they let them go. And they live the rest of their lives eating grass. So
sweet.
I saved 3 bulls. Okay.
Bullfighting, like many things, people should know and understand it before they make an opinion. And sometimes, in certain moments, it can be cruel. And if you look at it from the cruel side, you're always going to see it that way. But if you look at it from another angle, from the artistic, passionate, the beautiful side of it, if you look at the noble fight between a man and an animal just with a piece of cloth, then it can be immensely beautiful.
I just want to make sure that his lighting is good.
Oh, his lighting is fabulous.
Yeah.
He's lit from within.
That's true, he is. ¿Qué pasó?
Una araña para mi precioso.
Thank you.
You don't tell him what I said.
Is everything on schedule? Is things going well?
Yes, now that he's broken my heart, I'm going to do my crying scene.
You're crying. That's sweet.
I am. He's broken my heart.
Oh. Is the big
See,
love?
those eyes could break anyone's heart. Don't you think?
I was feeling a little flutter.
Are you falling in love with him, Kurt?
I'd like to kind of rub up against him, but I'm cold. So that's probably the problem.
So am I.
Is the love scene coming up soon?
Actually, we did the love scene already, and that's why I'm crying.
Oh, I was
See?
hoping we could watch. Guess we won't be doing that, though. What is the next thing? There is no happy ending here. This is all sad, right?
Exactly. It's a tragic love story.
¿Entiendes?
No, nada. Ni una palabra.
Men don't understand anything anyway.
It was a fantastic meeting, these two together. It was really cool because it was, they're both in their own worlds. Do you know what I mean? Even though Madonna's world touches all these people, it's a bubble.
Yeah.
You know, I think that because, look at all these people coming around her, just to see her, and she can't exactly go out. And his world is very closed too.
Yeah.
And there was a really interesting thing. He said, well, I'm an artist. I'm not as big as artists as you because I don't like to publicly portray myself, and I don't play up to that as much. And she says, well, that's not about being an artist, that's about being ambitious. He said, well, then you're very ambitious.
What have you learned about bullfighting from Emilio?
How dangerous it is. How dangerous it is and how much... What?
Que no me entero de nada.
No, I'm not going to lie about anything. Don't worry about it.
No va a mentir de nada, dice. Está contando la verdad.
Quiero mucho.
Quiero mucho. That sounds so great.
Yo también.
Okay, I have to go to work, so...
Okay, we'll stay here and do what we're
Muchos
doing.
besos para ti. Mwah. Mwah.
Okay, all right, bye.
I never get a kiss.
Are you surprised? Are you? Think about the night is over.
Do you consider directing one of these videos eventually? It seems like a natural thing to do.
I don't know if I could do that because that's really wearing two hats. And if I was behind the camera, I'd want to stay behind the camera. Exactly. I don't want to get into an argument with me. No, I do really want to direct something, but I think I'd have to concentrate on too many things because it's so different.
Do you ever think, like, in 10 years I'll be doing something completely different, or I'll be directing films?
Oh, sure. I mean, I change a lot. And I mean, I never knew when I was a dancer and I was completely focused on dancing that I was going to be a singer, and I never knew when I was writing music that I was going to end up being an actress, you know, and one thing just leads to the next.
You've always said that I'm not the greatest singer, I'm not the greatest dancer, and yet you have this tremendous effect on people.
Well, I mean, technically, I mean, the thing is, what is the greatest singer and what is the greatest? I mean, I don't think that, you know, being good has anything to do with your octave range or, you know, it's not about technical, it's about what's in here. It's about being true to yourself and touching people, you know. It's about emotion, being passionate about what you do. I mean, some of the greatest artists in the world don't necessarily, as far as singing goes, don't have like what people would call technically perfect voices, but they come from somewhere deep down inside and they touch people.
Right. And the technically perfect people can be terribly boring.
Terribly, if that's all one concentrates on. Yeah. You know, if you don't sing from your heart and you don't mean it, then how can it mean anything to anyone else?
I keep on doing what you're doing, baby. I keep on, keep moving, keep grooving.
Having wrapped up shooting here in Spain, Madonna and company gathered together all their little canisters of film and flew back to a stateside editing room to assemble the finished clip.
They shot about 60,000 feet of film in Spain, which is close to 10 hours. So it's basically logging 10 hours of film. It's an all beautiful film. I mean, it's hard to, usually you have to really search to find moments. There was 10 hours of incredible material, but it's whittling 10 hours into 4.5 minutes, and that's been the real challenge.
The reason we shot so much, when we were shooting the bullfight, we had to shoot with 5 cameras, because I can't direct a bullfight. And it's going to happen when it happens. And we wanted to slow the passes down at a really slow speed. So you have to shoot at 60 frames. And a lot of the footage is just useless, but you don't know when it's going to come. He's walking out slowly towards the bull, slowly towards the bull. You have to keep running just to get that one pass, just to try to slow it. And you have to have different cameras and different angles because you can't do it again. And it's funny because the most important thing is the ending, because it is a story. And you can go back and rechange the rhythm and the flow of certain scenes, but the end is the hardest thing to get because just by changing no one's talking, so you know you have to rely on everyone's body language. By changing the way that someone turns at the end, or you know the way that the matador puts his head down, all of a sudden changes the meaning of the story.
You took my life for granted. Why? Oh, why? This show is over. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye.
When this is all shot and everything, will you show up in the editing room and...
Oh, yes.
Will they be happy to see you coming?
Why not?
Oh.
I always have something good to contribute.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that all the directors I've worked with, I think that they welcome my input and there are always people that I know I can collaborate with. I mean, we have the same vision. I've never gotten into an editing room and gotten to some screening match.
You're so in control of, I don't want to say you're a control freak, but you're so in control of what you do. It's interesting that you give your stuff over to like Junior Vasquez to remix it. I mean,
right.
This must be a great sense of trust you have in those guys.
I have a huge sense of, well, I've known Junior for years, and I've worked with him in the studio. He's done a lot of remixes for me, and as a person, he's a good. He's a good person. I adore him, and I feel safe.
That's her by herself. That's the double. Together, just bigger than all the harmonies. This is Dallas's original loop. Dallas Austin, who wrote this with Madonna. This is his original loop, and we just added our own loops and our own kick, drum, and snare, actually based around his loop. And hats and stuff. We didn't use any of his drums, just his loop, and then the original bass. And then, of course, her.
It's amazing. You just send the stuff over and say, do what you will.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do that with everybody. It's like, it's a part of me. It's hard for me to let it go to someone I don't know, I don't trust, I don't know who they are. But I certainly do with him.
Do you have any projects coming up in the year ahead that might surprise us in any way? Any news on the fabled Madonna children? They be coming up soon?
Yes, I'm 9 months pregnant.
Hiding it well.
No, I mean, this is another thing. I did an interview where someone asked me if I wanted to have children, and suddenly, and it's like the headline in every newspaper.
Yeah. She
Madonna's
mourns at home.
She's mourning for her child. She's out looking for a man to sire her child. She's found the man. She's pregnant. She's having the baby tomorrow. Whatever. I mean,
how much of that is true?
none of it. I mean, I want to have children.
Yeah.
That's, you know, and I will. And could everybody just get off my back about it?
How old am I?
No, how old is this place?
What are you going to act your age?
My nose is running.
You want to take time out and maybe dab
Dab it? No, I'm just going to use my...
It's an old code.
Oh, sorry, gum. And this is, are your hands clean? 'Cause I'm going to have it back later.
You're in big trouble.